I remember it was like the most grueling 5 minutes of my life where I had no idea how to pitch this. I put together the first version of a deck. I had no idea what I was supposed to say, what it was supposed to look like. He was like, pitch it. I just stood back, and it was, I don't think I've ever been that uncomfortable before. And it's actually quite amazing looking back. And I did actually revisit that pitch deck recently, and, you know, I just squirm looking at it. But it's amazing to see how far you come and how much you learn. But yeah, so I ended up raising 485k from, I'd say, some amazing people. So I can say now that we got Anthony Joshua, the boxer, which is incredible.
And that's your first round?
Yeah, that was our first round. When it was just an idea, we didn't have a picture of what it even looked like because it didn't exist. So yeah, really just raising on a concept. Yeah. Which in a way I think is actually easier.
I've got questions around that, but tell me who else came into the round? Obviously,
James Watt, CEO of Brewdog.
Amazing.
And actually, it was really interesting the way I met James, because I put up a picture on Instagram which had a load of business books, like my favorite business books. I was just kind of recommending them, and someone had given me his book, and I thought it was brilliant. And I went to tag Brewdog, and it came up with Brewdog James. And I remember thinking, must be the guy. And then we connected, and we ended up potentially nearly working with him actually when I had my previous business, when we were trying to shoehorn in the wellness. Anyway, we ended up just getting along really well and swapping business for biohacking tips, because he was getting really into health, and obviously he's phenomenal in business, so it was really helping me with that. And I remember the day when I told him about the idea for Monk, and before I could really finish the sentence, he was like, do you need money? And then he became an investor because of that.
And the question I was going to ask you is, why do you think everyone invested?
I think you could see that there was a market evolving for it, and ice baths were becoming a thing. So I think people saw that, okay, there's a really cool opportunity here. I think the premise of it was quite exciting. Given that I didn't actually necessarily have experience in it, I do have, an amazing kind of black book of contacts of the biohacking health worlds, just general, like, so much passion about that. So I think it's quite easy for people to believe in your vision and just having a bit of tenacity and audacity, and
it's just, I mean, I love it when businesses raise off like no product, like actual great brands that you now see they've made the product, like the product exists in whatever format it does now, and it's obviously going to start working in such a high scale. The reason why I ask you that is because, obviously, trading back to what we were speaking about before around your pure passion for it. I'm imagining, I wasn't in the room when you pitched it, but I imagine that shone through quite a lot, because you were given a pitch just to go and like go pitch this thing. You'd never pitched anything before, but there's a reason why those individuals and the people that you even had around, even getting 3 or 4 people involved in something is so hard. And I don't know, it sounds like you don't give yourself enough credit for like getting those people in the room and getting them into the business, because I think passion just drives so much of it, right? Because you love the biohacking thing. There's ice bath and cold plunge. Yeah, it's the timing's really right, but also people just like, they won't always just say yes, like raising money is really hard. Like some of the people we've had on the podcast, like we both know Josh from Canno Water, he obviously got Ricky Gervais involved in the business, everything like that. And I remember asking him outside the podcast, like, why? And he was like, oh, I don't know, I think it was a good product. I'm like, it's always people back sometimes the founders more than they back the product. Do you know what I mean? Not that the products are bad, but like when they're new and they're like infancy stages and it's a sketch on a piece of paper and it looks really nice, it's quite hard to always like dive into that, but it's often the passion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, oh, completely. I know people that have invested in people and they haven't had an idea. They're like, whatever you do, like, here's X amount of money, just make it happen.
Yeah, which is great.